and has controlled it since 1971.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. President Trump warning of ramped-up strikes next week if Iran is unwilling to make a deal, but saying again today they want to make a deal. Members of the U.S. military will have a new annual test added to their required health assessments. Testosterone screenings.
I'm authorizing a new screening program for testosterone deficiency for our service members, ensuring you have the right testosterone levels to operate at your absolute best.
In a video announcement, Secretary Pete Hegseth noting that testosterone levels often naturally drop with age. The screening will only be required for service members 30 and older, and if treatment is recommended, receiving it will be up to the service member. Hegseth also says this is not about artificial enhancement. The president says not so fast after a plan to limit vehicle stops by immigration enforcement agents, at least temporarily. President Trump posting ICE cannot give up on the tactic.
President Trump calling the traffic stop one of the agency's most effective crime-fighting tools, saying without it, ICE would play right into the criminals' hands. DHS says agents use the stops because you don't need a judicial warrant like you do if you go into someone's house. So that's why it's such a big tactic. The debate follows 2 fatal ICE-involved shootings in less than 1 week.
Fox's Alexis McAdams. At the World Cup, Argentina just taking a 2-1 lead over England in stoppage time of their semifinal. America is listening to Fox News.
Point.
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace.
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Acting U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche defending the Trump agenda at his confirmation hearing.
I'm proud of what we've done to help American families see safer streets and to have a fair shot at the life they're working to build.
And he says these are not Republican or Democrat issues, but he has been pressed on several issues, including the handling of the Epstein files release, telling lawmakers that mistakes, including unredacted victims' names, were fixed as quickly as possible. A former federal prosecutor, Jay Clayton, tapped to be director of national intelligence, also on the Hill.
I will work to strengthen the coordination and communication between the intelligence community and the people we serve. I will focus on enhancing the trust of the American people in the ODNI, the intelligence community, and our federal government generally.
He says he's gained national security experience through his work as a U.S. attorney with cases involving foreign terrorist groups, counter-espionage, money laundering, and the abuse of communications platforms to sow distrust. Halfway through the year, a few entertainment streaming trends have become clear.
More music is being streamed than ever before, both in the U.S. and globally, according to Luminate's 2026 mid-year report. As for genre, the combination of R&B and hip-hop remains on top in the U.S., but Latin and country music are surging, thanks to artists like Bad Bunny and Ella Langley. Luminate found that nearly 1 in 10 streams in the U.S. was in Spanish.
Fox's Monica DeLuca. In film and TV, Netflix still dominates in the U.S., accounting for 57% of all original content viewing time. Prime Video trailing in second with 11%, the other big names all in single digits. And it's now final in the World Cup semifinal between England and Argentina. Argentina, the defending champs, advancing to the final, defeating England 2-1. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
The award-winning local, district, and statewide news is brought to you by Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. Is it time to find a home that fits your lifestyle? Visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. You'll find special savings along with beautiful, energy-efficient homes packed with features you've been dreaming about at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon, 4500 PA 51. And now the news.
Your local station, WMBS. Good evening. I'm Nick Barczyk. It is 5:05, 92 degrees and sunny on this Wednesday. Another hot summer day. Much more on the Weather Watch and the sports in a bit. Good evening. PennDOT announced scheduled traffic stoppages of up to 15 minutes on Route 4038, Layton Road, Tunnel Road, and the Great Allegheny Passage Trail in Perry Township in Fayette County starting next week. They will begin Monday and are expected to go through October. The closures are necessary for blasting operations related to the Layton Bridge replacement, which involves replacing the Layton Bridge over the Yauk River. Flaggers will be on both sides of the Gap Trail, Layton Road, and Tunnel Road to stop traffic during each blast. All work is dependent on weather and operations. And also in Fayette County, residents in South Connellsville will be without power Saturday night. West of Penn officials say the scheduled outages will take place from 10 p.m. Saturday through 6 a.m. Sunday. This will affect most of South Connellsville and into the city of Connellsville to Green Street. West of Penn officials will be doing repairs to their system in South Connellsville from the recent storm damaged portions of the local grid. The Commercial Street Bridge on the Parkway East is set to be demolished this evening. PennDOT now says the blast will take place between 6 and 9 tonight. Another announcement will be made when that time frame is narrowed to a 30-minute window. The public can watch the demolition live on PennDOT's project website or 511PA on an app. Cleanup is expected to take several days. Once the debris is cleared out, crews will begin sliding the new bridge into place. President Trump is announcing a large investment in national security as the U.S. conducts new strikes on Iran. Trump spoke at the Pennsylvania Defense and Innovation Summit this afternoon. He touts a $10 billion investment in Pennsylvania's defense industrial base. Trump said the state will play a key role in building the arsenal of freedom. Just before the president took the stage, U.S. Central Command announced it had begun conducting an additional round of strikes on Iran. Wholesale prices fell to a 10-month low in June. Daria Albinger reports on more on the Producer Price Index.
Wholesale prices fell last month for the first time in nearly a year, driven by lower gas prices. The Producer Price Index dropped 0.3%, mirroring a similar decline in the Consumer Price Index. The question, like in the CPI reading, is if it's a trend or it's a one-off with hostilities between the U.S. and Iran flaring again. Either way, wholesale prices are where inflation usually shows up first. It's often a sign of what consumers will pay in the months to come. I'm Daria Albinger.
More next on WMPS.
Is it time for your first home or time to trade up to a home that fits your lifestyle? It's time to visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. You'll find special savings along with trade-in and trade-up deals. Imagine beautiful, new, energy-efficient homes packed with the features you've been dreaming about. Trade in and trade up at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon, 4500 PA 51. Trade-in value toward purchase of a new home determined by resale value and evaluation by home center manager. Additional deposit may be required.
The Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission has put a planned pilot initiative that would have sent text reminders to drivers with unpaid tolls on hold. While the initiative was designed to collect payments faster and keep accounts out of collections, cybersecurity experts and consumers voiced concerns that it would be too difficult to distinguish from toll scams. In response to this feedback, the Commission decided to pause the program until they can establish a clear way to verify their messages as legitimate. State health officials say the federal government has allocated $1.8 million to address health care issues in West Virginia. In a release from Governor Morrissey's office today, the state's Health Transformation Office will put the money toward staffing. They say the funds will help the state set up pools of professionals who would cover facilities in the short term with the goal of improving health care in the long run. And also in the Mountain State, officials with the CDC say it's one of 4 states, West Virginia, that are likely linked to a cluster of cases of cyclopsoriasis. The other states the agency is studying in the outbreak are Michigan, Ohio, and Kentucky. So far, West Virginia has reported up to 80 cases since the middle of June. The infection typically spreads through contaminated produce or water. The FDA is investigating several produce items like lettuce as possible sources of the infection, as well as locations infected individuals say they visited before they became sick. And in sports, the All-Star break is still going on. Last night, the All-Star game, American League with the win there. Buccos are back in action Friday. Pirates take on the Guardians in Cleveland for a 3-game series starting Friday night. And the New Jersey Devils in the NHL today signed Penguins free agent Anthony Mantha to a 2-year, $9.5 million contract. Mantha set career highs last season with the Pens with 33 goals, 31 assists, and 64 points. And the NHL announced the home openers for all 32 teams today and will release the full schedule tomorrow. The Penguins will host the Canadiens at PBG Paints Arena in their home opener October the 3rd. Pens will open the season 2026-2027 season when they visit the Philadelphia Flyers September 30th. The only other game involving the Penguins the NHL announced today was a road game against Washington on the 7th of October. And now the WMPS Weather Watch for all of southwest Pennsylvania on this Wednesday. Another hot summer day, plenty of sunshine. Right now at 91, the overnight low at 72, 93 with sun for Thursday. Overnight low in the evening tomorrow night 64, up to 91. Chance of late day showers and storms Friday. Showers and thunderstorms likely throughout the day Saturday into the evening, up to 80. Low at 67, 82 with the chance of rain Sunday, clearing out for Monday, sunny and 86 and 85 with the chance of thunderstorms on Tuesday. Another hot day today, right now sunny and 92 at 5:11 on a Wednesday. And good afternoon from the Davis & Davis studios at your local station, WMPS. I'm Nick Barczyk. And the afternoon drive show with Doug Saltzman is next on WMPS.
The local, district, and statewide news was brought to you by Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. Is it time to find a home that fits your lifestyle? Visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. You'll find special savings along with beautiful, energy-efficient homes packed with features you've been dreaming about at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon, 4500 PA 51. Tired of running out of hot water? Koval Building Supply at 40 Monroe Avenue in Uniontown is your local source for reliable tank and tankless gas water heaters. Whether you're replacing an old unit or upgrading to an energy-efficient tankless system, we have options to fit your home and budget. Our knowledgeable team is ready to help you get dependable hot water when you need it most. Call Koval today at 724-437-8824 or visit kovalsupply.com. Koval Building Supply. Everything you need to keep your home running comfortably.
And Wall Street is closing up today after June inflation data came in weaker than expected.
It comes as traders digest the latest numbers from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It reported that the producer price index fell 0.3% last month. Analysts weren't expecting that. They thought the rate would remain unchanged. Elsewhere, major tech stocks have been advancing. At the closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average added 150 points to 52,658. The S&P 500 gained 28 points to 7,572, and the Nasdaq rose 162 points, closing at 26,269. With your market recap, I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
Let's look at your stocks for this Wednesday in the first hour of the afternoon drive show with Doug Saltzman next on WNPS.
This is State Representative Charity Grimm-Krupa, proud supporter of agriculture, family farms, and rural Pennsylvania. That's why I'm excited to support Heartland with Haley. Haley has already made a real impact through her leadership in FFA, agriculture, and service to others. Now she's using her voice to celebrate the people and traditions that make rural Pennsylvania special. Tune in to Heartland with Haley.
Paid for by Charity for PA Rep.
Main Street Theater Company presents Rent, July 24th and 25th at 7 p.m. and July 26th at 2. A Tony Award-winning musical and Pulitzer Prize drama winner, Rent follows the life of impoverished young artists and musicians struggling to survive and create in New York's Lower East Side. With songs that rock and a story that resonates with audiences of all ages, Rent has become a pop culture phenomenon. Get tickets online at statetheater.info or call 724-439-1360.
Wind, hail, sudden leaks. When your roof takes a beating, we're here for you at AR Roofing and Remodeling. We're a locally and veteran-owned contractor available 24/7 for repairs. As an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred Contractor, we get the job done right. Call 724-550-3064 or visit arremodels.com for your free estimate.
AR Roofing, never settle.
Is your lawn getting shaggy? Weeds taking over? Maybe it's time for a full yard cleanup or fresh mulch and clean, crisp edges to bring your landscape back to life. Whatever your lawn needs, Z's Ground Control has you covered. They do it right the first time. Call 724-366-9150 today for your free estimate. Z's Ground Control. You grow it, we mow it. For over 50 years, Mauser's Tire Center has kept our community rolling safely. Located on Route 40 West at Seawright's Crossroads, they're your trusted source for new, used, and recap tires, plus expert repairs. Need a new set or a quick fix? Then call Mausers at 724-249-2410, and they'll get you ready for the road. Mausers Tire Center. 5 decades of keeping you safe.
It's the Afternoon Drive Show on your local station, WMBS Uniontown. I'm Doug Saltzman. That is Nick Barczyk over there. How are you today, Nick?
Oh, better now, Doug. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. I tried to get somebody on from PennDOT on today. They're a little busy. They're all covering the demolition of the Commercial Street Bridge, which is the bridge you hit as you come out of the Squirrel Hill tunnels going outbound. They demolished quite a bit of it already. It's amazing how much work they've got done if you've seen some of the photos. And it will be coming down tonight sometime, between 6 and 9 p.m. What was amazing, when we interviewed last week Jason Zhang, who is the district executive for District 11 of PennDOT, he is the big boss over there, he said that they're actually going to have to fly drones over the site that have heat-seeking cameras to make sure no knuckleheads, that's not what he said, that's what I'm saying, are down below taking videos or trying to get a close look at it.
Again, I would let them go. Natural selection. We don't need these people.
Yesterday, we had a guest on the show who said there's a lot of stupid people in the world.
Yeah.
And that of course, John Wayner said that from the Pittsburgh Pirates.
More profound than any point he's ever made about baseball.
And he talked about the road, over 3 years after Blast, because he did, 3 years, he said, on the road, only road games because Blast was still around. And he called him Blast as opposed to Steve Blast, saying, he called 40 wins over 3 years on the road.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But,
and this year,
trying to right the ship
this year they're 500 on the road.
Yeah, which is about where you should be. 3 games up overall.
300. 3 games over 500
at
home.
Bad.
Last year, what was the number again? I mentioned it on the air yesterday.
It was bad.
Yeah.
Let's not dwell in the past, especially when it's really bad.
When it comes to the Pirates. Our long national nightmare might be over again this year if they finish.
Well, we can only hope.
With a winning season. They went 72 wins, right? 2 years in a row.
Yes.
And then last year it dropped below that. A year when they picked up a new manager or promoted somebody from within. I suppose. Right. So the season starts up again. It's funny. It's only 3 days, but I miss listening to Pirate games.
Sure.
But it'll start up again on Thursday.
Friday.
On Friday. That's right. 4 days off. That's been happening a lot lately. 4 days off for the
might as well
for the break. It gives the guys some time off to hang
play
with
golf.
their families and whatnot.
The American League won the All-Star game. I'm sure you're devastated.
I am devastated by the entire thought of that.
National League couldn't get a run. I mean, the Pirates lead the league in runs, and yet didn't have a hitter selected to the All-Star team. They had 2 pitchers, neither of them pitched.
Right.
I guess Braxton Kraft said he didn't want to pitch for whatever reason, and Skeens wasn't eligible, so no Pirate representation.
Because he had just pitched. You think they could let him in to pitch? I think you could pitch to one batter.
I think, but his arm might fall off, Doug.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
We let him go in and pitch knuckle. We need another knuckleballer. Of course,
Is that what baseball needs?
We had a great knuckleballer on the Pirates.
Yeah, Tim Wakefield.
Didn't last very long with us and went up to
Boston.
Well, Boston had an incredible career up there.
He did.
I remember Jim Leland at one point said he'd never managed a knuckleballer. He did not know when to take that person out because they don't tire out.
No, they don't. They're throwing, 65, 70 at the most?
My brother can throw a knuckleball.
Oh, what can't this guy do?
Yeah, it's amazing. And it is bizarre watching it come at you. I swear it moves around a foot in each direction. Not quite. But I remember by fluke, a buddy of mine, Jerry, and I were at the very first game that Tim Wakefield pitched in Pittsburgh many moons ago. And we had seats right behind home plate, but in the second level. So we were looking right over the ump and the catcher, the batter. And the catcher had a glove bigger than a dinner plate. And it was amazing watching that pitch come in. How bizarre that was. Yesterday, after we had a meteorologist on from the National Weather Service, I got 3 emails saying you should have meteorologists on more frequently to talk about the weather. And we're in the midst of a heat wave right now.
especially the overnight temperatures are just not dropping at all. So again, yesterday we had someone on from the from AccuWeather. They can't get the words out. Today we hope to have somebody on from the National Weather Service. That'll be coming up here in just a few moments. Also, at 6:35, we're going to talk again about Pirate baseball. We're going to check in with Lanny Fratteri, everybody. We'll talk to him coming up. But first, we're going to take a 1-minute break right now. When we come back, National Weather Service will join us. Stick around.
It's gorgeous outside, which means it's time to get to Bittersweet Cafe of Farmington. From their incredible daily lunch specials featuring farm-to-table fresh ingredients to their refreshing drinks, frozen treats, smoothies, and iced tea, Bittersweet Cafe has something for everyone. Enjoy this beautiful spot nestled in the Laurel Highland Mountains, just a few miles outside of Ohiopyle on Farmington, Ohiopyle Road. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
Tune in to WMBS Saturday mornings at 8:20 for Your Financial Future with Gary Boatman, certified financial planner, investment advisory representative, syndicated columnist, and author, as he addresses such income issues as planning for retirement, future health care expenses, avoiding financial pitfalls, and much more. That's Your Financial Future with Gary Boatman, Saturday mornings at 8:20 right here on WMBS, where Gary Boatman welcomes your calls at 724-243-3075. That's 724-243-3075.
Welcome back to the Afternoon Drive Show on a hot, hot Wednesday out there. Another heat wave. We'll call it the second heat wave of the year. And as I mentioned before the break, I was asked, I got 3 emails at radiosaltzman@gmail.com, said, make sure you have another meteorologist on the show today. So not that we don't trust your forecasting over there, Nick, based on your strong background in meteorology.
On reading it off the computer.
There we go.
I didn't have schooling for it like our next guest.
But joining us right now on the WMBS Newsmakers line from the National Weather Service, meteorologist Andrew Kenzel. Andrew, thanks for joining us today. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Good, good. Hot out there. That's a great understatement. I guess, is there a technical definition of a heat wave? Does that actually fall under something meteorologically speaking? Is there such a thing as, okay, this is now officially a heat wave, or is it just sort of more objective or subjective? I never know which word is correct.
It is certainly a little bit subjective. Obviously, different areas have different definitions. Kind of one of the more prevalent ones is just an extended period of temperatures that are above average. Now, how much above average can kind of differ as you move across the country, but you know, we do certainly find ourselves in a little bit of a heat wave here right now across the Pittsburgh area.
So this, of course, is July 15th. What should the average temperature, not should be, what is the average temperature, high temperature for this time of year, and the overnight temperature?
Right now, our average high temperature is right around 83 degrees, and our average low is right around 64 degrees.
So we're clearly about 10 degrees above that on both sides of the scale, correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Yeah. So how does this compare? I mean, we've had several 90-degree days. Usually the first 90-degree day is, mid-June, I suppose, even before officially summer starts. But what is the average? I don't know if you know that off the top of your head. How many 90-degree days does southwestern PA get? And, of course, that's officially recorded at the National Weather Service in Moon Township, adjacent to the Pittsburgh Airport. How many 90-degree days do we usually get?
So right now, kind of using a 30-year running average, which is usually how we compute climatological values, the Pittsburgh area and southwestern Pennsylvania experiences about 9 90-degree days a year, 90 degrees or higher every year. So this year we're currently at 5. Today will be the 6th. So we're heading up towards average, obviously here at the middle of July, right around the hottest time of year, but we still have a little bit of time to see a couple more 90-degree days here during the summer, of course.
And the humidity cranks that up even more when you talk about heat indexes or feel-like temperatures. I guess feel-like temperatures is not a technical term. It's heat indexes, I suppose. If I have that right, you correct me if I'm wrong. But it's the humidity. Is it the humidity that then just sends up that heat index?
So, yeah, heat index can be a lot of things. Heat index is the correct term there. You said it yourself. But it depends on sun angle. Winds can play into it because heat index just tries to talk about what it actually feels like to us humans. You can have days where the temperature might be the exact same, but your other ambient conditions are very, very different, and your heat indices can then resultingly be very, very different. Either way you look at it right now, those heat indices this afternoon look like they're going to spring up over 100 degrees, and it's going to feel pretty hot.
Yesterday we were talking about the forest fires in Canada and how that is creeping its way down into southwestern Pennsylvania. And I was surprised to learn that those can actually lower the temperature. I thought it would create like a heat dome and increase the temperature, but I guess when that smoke comes in, I understand it can lower the temperature 2 or 3 degrees.
Yeah, so it certainly can. Obviously, what you have a lot of in the summertime to bring some of that heat is time that the sun is out. The sun heats the Earth's crust and makes it really, really hot for us during the summer. As you start to get some of that upper-level smoke in, it actually cuts down a little bit on the amount of sunlight that is reaching the surface. And in doing so, it can trim your high temperatures by as much as a couple, 2 to 4 degrees. And so despite the fact that our conditions between today and tomorrow aren't changing all that much, as we do get more wildfire smoke into the region tomorrow, we actually are expecting to trim back those high temperatures a couple, maybe 3 degrees comparatively.
Yeah, when you take a look at weather forecasts and of course the continental U.S., you always see weather going from west to east. I'm guessing that's due to Gulf Stream and other winds. But I'm surprised to hear that smoke from Canada would come this fall south. You would think it would just continue, in my limited understanding of this stuff, would just continue in an eastern fashion. What brings it south?
Yeah, so that's kind of the upper-level pattern that we have right now. Across the center of the United States, we have what we call a ridge, which is an upper-level area of high pressure. And then further out into Atlantic Canada, we actually have an upper-level area of low pressure. Those two act together to kind of angle that upper-level wind such that it blows from the northwest to the southeast. It almost like if you think of the ridge as kind of a slide that's centered over maybe North Dakota. That slide angles down towards Pittsburgh. And so all of that smoke is just going to slide down that slide into Pennsylvania and towards us.
When you get heat like this, and I always joke, like, if it's this hot here, what is it at the equator? Not that I'm asking you to give us the equator forecast, but I'm always shocked at how hot it can get this far north of the equator, and what must it be like in other parts. But I guess, again, the tilt of the Earth, location of the sun, the angle of the sun, that all plays into this sort of thing. But if in a feeble mind like mine and limited understanding of meteorology, it seems like, okay, in Florida it ought to be 110. It gets that way out in the Southwest, but certainly not in Florida on a regular basis. So what keeps it at this temperature here? The other day they said it was hotter in New York City than it was in Miami. That always kind of blows me away when that happens. Is there any way to explain that simply?
Yeah, so that just kind of depends on exactly where you are related to those upper-level features. If those upper-level high-pressure areas are centered more directly over New York City, then you certainly can pump up those temperatures more so than Miami, which might be a little bit counterintuitive, but it simply kind of depends where you are in relation to some of those upper-level features.
Yeah. As we always do when you or one of your colleagues joins us from the National Weather Service, at the end of our discussion, our conversation, we ask you to give us a forecast, and you make it tough for you because we ask for the forecast here in the lowlands of Fayette County, where our radio station is located, but also up on the ridges. And those forecasts can be quite different, can't they?
Yes, they certainly can. The elevation there is the key driver of that difference.
Yeah. So take a moment and give us the forecast, if you would, for the next few days.
Yeah, absolutely. As we move through the next couple of days, looks like we'll see the heat trimmed each day across both the lowlands and the ridge tops. Expecting temperatures in the upper 80s on Thursday in the lowlands, kind of in the lower 80s in the ridges. Basically going to drop about 2 to 3 degrees each day, such that by the time you get to Saturday, we're looking at temperatures in the middle 80s across the lowlands and temperatures kind of closer to the upper 70s in the ridge lines. We're expecting smoke to be the driving story here as we move into tomorrow, as that wildfire smoke that we've been talking about here is going to settle down and kind of sit over southwestern Pennsylvania through the day tomorrow. Air quality is going to be an issue, but there shouldn't be a whole lot of active weather for us to speak of until we get into the weekend here, starting to look at possibly some thunderstorms moving through the area there on Saturday.
Well, thanks a lot. We appreciate you joining us. Andrew Kenzel from the National Weather Service joining us on the Afternoon Drive Show. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Yep, thanks. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Let's take a break here, folks, and we come back. We're going to talk politics with our friend Chris Nicholas. One of the stranger things coming up is a joint fundraiser of Dave McCormick and John Fetterman. Yes, they're from opposite parties. There's been a lot of complaints aimed at John Fetterman about this fundraiser, but none have landed on Dave McCormick's desk. It's an interesting story. Again, Christopher Nicholas is going to join us. He is a veteran GOP political consultant and analyst. We'll talk to him. But first, this is the Afternoon Drive Show on WMBS.
This is attorney Michael Mays of the Davis & Davis Law Firm. We have been helping injured people just like you recover millions of dollars for over 45 years. If you're hurt or injured, I want to meet you and make sure you get the money that you deserve. Call me at 724-437-2799 for your free consultation. The Davis & Davis Law Firm has been protecting our neighbors in Greene and Fayette counties for over 45 years. Go to davisanddavislaw.com or call 724-437-2799 for your free consultation.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Sleep well tonight. Try out a new mattress from Route 21 Furniture with a large selection of mattresses, all sizes and comfort levels, with great prices, free local delivery and setup, and financing options. Route 21 Furniture. Open weekdays 9 to 5, Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday noon to 4. 724-737-2222 or Route21Furniture.com.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Warm weather means you'll be spending more time outside. So enjoy your deck or patio with retractable or fixed awnings from Lifetime Awnings. Made in the USA with manufacturer and customers guarantees, Lifetime Awnings products last. Lifetime Awnings is veteran-owned and operated with a 10% discount to all military veterans and their families. Call Lifetime Awnings 724-554-6067 or email John, the owner, at lifetimeawningsusa@gmail.com.
Bad hair day? Bad day at the office? Bad day behind the wheel? Hey, stuff happens, even to the best of us. At least your car insurance rate doesn't have to take a hit. Get Erie Rate Lock from Erie Insurance. Gives you a great rate that stays put until you change a car, driver, or your address. Plus, seriously good service. Now that's something to smile about.
Your Erie agent in Uniontown and Ross Traver Township is Sprowls Insurance Group, 724-437-9812, or go to sprowlsinsurance.com.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
Tune in each Saturday morning from 6 to 7 a.m. right here on WMBS 590 AM and FM 101.1 for Garden Talk Radio. It's the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show, topic focused, guests from across the country, and answering your garden questions. Send your questions in now to gardentalkradio@gmail.com or call anytime to 1-800-927-SHOW. That's every Saturday morning from 6 to 7 a.m. right here on WMBS 590 AM and FM 101.1. Catch the replay Monday evenings from 6 to 7 p.m.
Career Link is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the Better Business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
The weather is hot and the cars are going to be even hotter at the 5th Annual Centerville American Legion Car, Tractor, and Bike Show, Sunday, July 19th, at the Legion on Old National Pike in Fredericktown. Registration begins at 10 and the car show runs from 12 to 4. Hi, I'm Josh Krysak. My wife Carly and I will be broadcasting live from 1 to 3. Stop by and say hello, and be sure and spin the fabulous WMBS prize wheel for your chance to win Pirates tickets, Zoo tickets, PA Lottery scratch-offs, WMBS swag, and more. The event features music by the Sunglass Man, a 50-50 drawing, hot dogs and hamburgers, car awards, more than 70 Chinese auction baskets, and so much more. For more information, call Sherry Lacey at 724-984-1459. We will see you there on Sunday, July 19th at the Centerville American Legion Car, Tractor, and Bike Show.
Welcome back to the Afternoon Drive Show on a hot Wednesday out there. I want to thank meteorologists from the National Weather Service for joining us a few moments ago to give us an update on the weather forecast. And, that heat index, way over 100. Get some relief up on the Fayette County ridges and, of course, the eastern ridges, or eastern Westmoreland County where the ridges are in that county. It's a hot one. So I want to thank Andrew Kenzel for joining us. Yesterday, we spoke to a meteorologist. If you were listening in from AccuWeather, which of course National Weather Service naturally is a government agency. AccuWeather is a commercial entity, as they call it. It's interesting. The other day when we were chatting it up on politics, and I've been doing some analysis on this and other radio stations about a very interesting thing that has come up recently. First time I ever heard of such a thing happening, and in 2026 marks the 40th anniversary. I've been doing politics, joined Arlen Specter's staff. In the fall of 1986, I actually was an intern for Tom Ridge in the mid-'80s, the congressman who nobody ever heard of. He used to joke from a place nobody had ever been, which is not really true. A lot of people go to Erie. But in 40 years, I've never heard of two U.S. senators from opposite parties holding a joint fundraiser. And who better to talk to about that than our next guest? And joining us right now on the WMBS Newsmakers line, veteran GOP political consultant and analyst Christopher Nicholas. Christopher, thanks for joining us today. How are you?
Good to be with you, Doug, as always. And you are correct. In my 40-plus years, I've never seen senators from opposite parties form what's called a JFC, or a joint fundraising committee. It's a way for donors to give more money into a group, and they can allocate it to whom they want. So the big question now, Senators McCormick and Fetterman joined up their regular campaign committees and what's known as their leadership committees and formed a brand new group. The question now in everybody's mind is, if this group raises money, who are they going to give it to?
Yeah, there's some question about John Fetterman. Oh, there's lots of questions about John Fetterman, but questions about whether he'll run again. He's up in 2028. He is certainly not the senator that most Democrats voted for, I would say, back now 4 years ago. A totally different person, that's for sure. Upsets a lot of Democrats. Poll after poll in Pennsylvania has shown he has much more support among Republicans in Pennsylvania than he does Democrats. One of the strangest changes in political and a politician I've ever seen. I know that sounds, a bit strong to say, but I don't ever recall somebody falling into that sort of category. Our old boss, Arlen Specter, at times did poll very well among Democrats, but not to the opposite effect that's happening with Fetterman. Or am I exaggerating that?
No, I don't think you're exaggerating. I think there are a lot of Democrats who have buyer's remorse. And in my PA Political Digest newsletter that I write every week, I call Fetterman our always newsy senior senator because he never fails to do that. People in your part of the world, Doug, are probably more likely than not to be on the more moderate to conservative side of the Democratic spectrum. So they may like some of the things he's doing, all right, which is going on a limb to advocate for the right of Israel to exist and protect itself, to vote for the occasional Trump nominee, but he's still someone who is totally pro-choice and votes with the Democrats about 90% of the time. In today's world in D.C., though, most people are at 98 or 99% of the time voting with their own party. And those votes on confirming nominees get lots of extra attention from folks because they're few and far between. So Democrats on the left have buyer's remorse, okay? Republicans are like, well, maybe I need to give this guy a second look. But at the end of the day, he's still a very pro-choice, very pro-labor Democrat, and most Republicans are not where he is on those two big issues, let alone on the Second Amendment and guns and stuff. So there's an old saying that sometimes you can become, a man with no country in politics, and that's where he is now. As you referenced, he has higher ratings among Republican voters in PA than his own Democrats. So his options are don't run again as a Democrat in what would be a crowded primary. There's a couple people out there, Connor Lamb, a former congressman, Chris DeLuzio, the current congressman for Butler and parts of Allegheny, to run against him, or become an independent, which gets you past the primaries. You have to collect your petition signatures in the summer. You skip the primaries. You're still on the ballot, right? It's not a write-in, okay? But in Pennsylvania, it's a very difficult for non-Rs and non-Ds to do like that. Now, he would be a very well-known person doing that. So some people have speculated, they formed this joint fundraising committee to help eventually funnel money into Fetterman's operation so he can run as an independent, and that would split the Democratic vote because you'd have a Democratic nominee, an independent like Fetterman, and then whoever we on the GOP side pick would be easier. Now, that's a long way off in a lot of decisions, but that's what some people have been speculating.
Yeah, you mentioned Connor Lamb, of course. He was the congressman who replaced Tim Murphy when Tim Murphy was forced to resign his position following a scandal. And then he served in that district for a couple of terms, and two terms, and then of course he decided to run for U.S. Senate because he did not think, given the redistricting following the 2020 census, that he could win in that district. Which, oddly enough, a Democrat won that district, as you mentioned, Chris DeLuzio, and now DeLuzio's seat has been taken off the table from the House Republican Campaign Committee, saying they're not even going to bother trying to knock him off.
I tease and sometimes say I think Connor Lamb and Chris DeLuzio are the same person. Same issue background, the same type of background in military and such. But yeah, Connor Lamb's proposition to Democratic primary voters in 2022, in the primary in which he finished a distant second, Fetterman won every one of our 67 counties. His proposition was John Fetterman's too liberal. And Democratic primary voters said, we don't agree, and they elected him overwhelmingly to be the nominee, and then he beat Dr. Oz in his general election. So now, ironically, Connor Lamb, if he comes back and does this, is going to run against Fetterman perhaps for the Senate and say he's not liberal enough.
Exactly. Which is so bizarre when you think about that approach. And that race, that special election in which Connor Lamb was elected to Congress, and he was going up against a state representative who at one point on a hot mic, Donald Trump said he's a bad candidate at a rally that was held, in fact, for that candidate, the state representative at the time.
Connor Lamb has lived under a gold star, in terms of his political career and kind of being able to get in those odd circumstances, a special election and all that sort of stuff. So, there was a vote just within the hour on the House floor in Washington, D.C. to cancel all military aid to Israel. It failed overwhelmingly, but more than half of the Democratic caucus voted for it, including Summer Lee, who is the congresswoman from Pittsburgh, and Chris DeLuzio, and most of the other Democrats in the Pennsylvania congressional delegation. So their party is in the middle of kind of a civil war about what their party should stand for when it comes to that. And I think it's so ironic because Fetterman and the other statewide elected Democrat here, Governor Shapiro, are essentially the same on issues relating to Israel. And Fetterman gets all sorts of you-know-what for it. And Shapiro doesn't really take any heat for it. So the Democrat Party is moving away from where Fetterman and Shapiro are on Israel's right to exist and them being able to protect themselves. And we're seeing a rising tide everywhere, and especially on the left, not just of anti-Israel, but anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic language and projecting onto our polity. I mean, we saw a couple months ago a very well-known state Supreme Court Justice, David Wecht, from Pittsburgh, a Democrat, left his own party. He didn't say he left it because of anti-Semitism. He said he left it for, quote-unquote, these are his words, too much anti-Jew hatred in his own party. Right. And we all know, what a prominent member, elected Democrat his father was, right?
Exactly.
So,
Dr. Wecht was on this show frequently. And
I'm sure he was. He was everywhere frequently.
Right. And he talked often about that hatred of Jews. And I asked him a couple of times what he thought about that happening within his own Democratic Party. And you could tell he was shaking his head over the air, dumbfounded by it. And no doubt he had conversations with his son, Pennsylvania Supreme Court Justice David Wecht. Obviously, from a political standpoint, it doesn't have much of an impact. He's a judge. He doesn't run for re-election. He runs for retention, which he was just retained in a recent election. But it's an incredible statement, and it made national news. And that is Supreme Court Justice.
Totally made national news. I mean, he was married at the Tree of Life Synagogue, where we had that terrible tragedy several years ago. So it's top of mind for him. It's not some esoteric pie-in-the-sky potentiality. It is what it is for him and his wife and their history as Jews there in Pittsburgh. So that, look, the Republican Party has to figure out what it's doing next when Trump's time is up, whether it continues with Trumpism with a different person at the helm or whether it goes to something else. Democrats have to figure out, where they are with Israel and the rising tide of anti-Semitism within their party. We've seen all the Sturm and Drang with the idiot Nazi tattoo guy in Maine who had to drop out of the race because of all his issues, not the least of which was sporting a tattoo on his chest that SS guards who guarded the concentration camps had on their bodies. So, I mean,
which he described it, not realizing what it was. Really? You get a tattoo burned into your skin, you don't know what it is? Yeah.
Well, and then it came out that one girlfriend he told that's what it was. And Democrats finally, after all these revelations came out about how he treated women and assaulted them, and one former girlfriend said that he actually raped her, have finally wisened up. But this is a candidate they were foisting on not just Maine, but the whole country. So that's something the Democrats kind of have to figure out. I mean, even Governor Shapiro said last week it's a internal war that the Democrats have to figure out. Now, the Philadelphia Inquirer noted that he did not volunteer to lead that battle. He just noted that it was a battle coming up. So I don't know if that's really a profile encouraged by the governor.
Yeah, you mentioned about Wecht's statement, and it was not subtle. Looking at it right here, Wecht expressed frustration with what he described as disturbingly common tolerance of anti-Semitism among mainstream figures, activists, and elected officials within the Democratic Party, following which John Fetterman, the always newsy John Fetterman, as you describe him accurately, stated that he, quote, fully understands Wecht's decision and called on the Democratic Party to confront its problems with anti-Semitism.
So that is a news write-up of his letter. In his actual letter, the one that the justice penned himself, he never used the word anti-Semitism. The phrase he used over and over was anti-Jew hatred. And I have to think, I don't know the man, I have to think he did that on purpose so people would not be confused about what exactly anti-Semitism is, or if he was beating around the bushes. The words he used, the sitting state Supreme Court justice, anti-Jew hatred in his own party, and I think the Nazi tattoo guy, Graham Plattner up in Maine, was, I think, the straw that broke the camel's back, and this is before some of the other more hellacious, allegations against Mr. Plattner came out. So, again, I think I said this almost every time I'm on with you, Doug. If you're bored with politics or Pennsylvania politics, wait 6 months, it changes.
Yeah,
right?
And I always get a kick out of, and you've commented too, when people say that Pennsylvania doesn't play much of a role in national politics. Really? I was just quoted on a radio station recently, and I was talking about the impact of Pennsylvania politics when Jack Hines died, which is hard to believe now, 35 years ago. Harris Wofford, who most people thought had no chance against the former governor, U.S. Attorney General Dick Thornburgh, won that race in the special election in November of 1991, and it led to, it was sort of the forebearer of what was going to happen in 1992. I'm sorry, that was in the fall of 91, 1992, when George Bush the elder lost to Bill Clinton. So, yes, Pennsylvania plays a role.
There are certainly states that aren't in the middle of the national political dialogue, Idaho, okay,
South Dakota.
Delaware,
Yeah, exactly.
South Dakota, Pennsylvania, not so much. We are always in the middle of it because we are a swing state, purple state. That's the phrase people use now. We have 4 elected statewide Republicans, 2 elected statewide Democrats, 1 chamber of the legislature, the House, controlled by 1 vote by Dems, another chamber of the Senate controlled by Republicans by 4 votes. So, we are newsy because we are on a nice edge in terms of, our old boss Specter used to say that at any given time in the Senate, as soon as you mentioned what an issue was, there were 85 senators that you could say out of 100 exactly where they'd be on that, just by what the name of the bill is.
Back in my days of lobbying, at times.
Pennsylvania's like that politically, right?
Right, exactly.
You can't tell what's going to happen before it happens because we're all over the place.
Back when I was a lobbyist back in the day in Harrisburg and somewhat slightly in Washington, I would have bosses say, Doug, you haven't met with so-and-so. Well, you told us your meetings with these people. I said, well, I didn't bother meeting with them because I know how they're going to vote on this topic. It's a waste of time. If I'm going to focus on something, let's focus on this. And why isn't our PAC giving to them? Because we know how they vote. It doesn't matter. Not that a PAC contribution would ever sway a vote, naturally. But I said it doesn't make sense to lobby them because they have never supported our causes. So what's the point of going in to see them? We're not going to change their mind suddenly. They're not going to do a 180. But, yeah, you're right. There is the 85 votes out of 100 are set all the time. And interesting to see, at least. Let's finish up real quick here. With the event that happened today in central Pennsylvania, $10 billion was committed from the defense industry for Pennsylvania. Another one of those amazing events by Dave McCormick. The president was there. I'm sure the governor was invited. But the
governor was there. So
was he there? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Earlier, he did a technology summit. Senator Dave McCormick, our junior senator out in Pittsburgh. By all accounts, went very well. Today, it was ending a 2-day summit in Carlisle at the Army War College, which is an esteemed institution that helps train our upcoming officers in all branches of the military. And they had a defense industry summit at which they announced $10 billion in new developments and contracts, including robotics type stuff in your part of the state, building some more submarine components in Philadelphia at the Navy shipyard there, all over the place. Pennsylvania makes a lot of ammunition for the military, especially up in Scranton, up in Northeast PA, NEPA, as we call it. So I think McCormick's really done, yeoman's work there in getting all these companies together to come to Pennsylvania. There were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of what they called speed dating meetings between technology firms, defense firms, and local companies that want to sell to them everything from top-notch electronics and warfare to esoteric nuts and bolts and screws. So that's a great entree for Pennsylvania businesses to be able to go to one place and talk to a couple hundred defense contractors who normally wouldn't give them the time of day. So I have to think that no senator has done more in his first 2 years in recent history than Dave McCormick in terms of putting these economic development activities together, which is just great for the state. And again, he got the president to come to the one on technology earlier. The president was in Carlisle today, which is central Pennsylvania near where I am, to do this. So, he's definitely able to get some top names there to help Pennsylvania businesses and employees as well. So,
not since perhaps Jack
good.
Murtha has this much attention been paid. Of course, Jack Murtha simply did it for his own district.
In Johnstown, he used to have a defense summit every year, and they did kind of the same thing. But you're right; it was oriented more towards his little part of the world, Johnstown.
Yeah, and at a fraction of what's now being announced, like it's chump change almost, $10 billion with a B. Hard to believe. As always, our interviews with Christopher Nicholas go very quick, and we're coming up on a hard break. So, Chris, as always, we appreciate our monthly check-in with you. Christopher Nicholas, and as we always do, you are, of course, editor of the Pennsylvania Political Digest. How can folks get that?
Just go to papoliticaldigest.com. There's a place for you to sign up, and you get it twice a week.
And make sure you get the extended version, we'll call it, as well. Chris, thanks so much. We appreciate you joining us today. All right. Thank you. Christopher Nicholas joining us. Let's take a break. We'll be right back to finish off the hour.
Go to Ford of Uniontown and trade me in.
It's Jessica Karingala and Joe Malika here at Ford of Uniontown. Summer is here, and there's never been a better time to upgrade during the Ford Summer Sales event.
Looking for America's best-selling truck? Right now, drive home a new Ford F-150 with up to $9,000 off MSRP, or choose up to $7,000 off MSRP with low financing rates as low as 3.9 for 60 months or 4.9 for 72, or even 84 months.
Need something versatile for work, weekends, and everything in between? Check out other models such as the Maverick, Bronco Sport, or Explorer, all ready for your next summer adventure.
Our award-winning service department is ready to keep your Ford running all summer long with convenient online service appointments and free pickup and delivery to cover your needs.
Don't wait. These summer savings won't last forever. Your truck knows, shouldn't you? That's Ford of Uniontown on the hill across from Applebee's. 724-425-5980 or FordofUniontown.com.
Excludes tax, title, license, and documentation fees. Financing through Ford Credit, and not all buyers will qualify. See dealer for complete details.
Armstrong Internet is built for homes like yours by neighbors who know what matters most. Fast, reliable internet backed by local experts who live here. That's 24/7 support with no contracts and no installation fees. No surprises. Just a reliable network to keep you connected to what you care about. Visit armstrongfiber.com and get connected as soon as same day. Choose a provider that's supported your community for decades. Choose Armstrong.
Did you know that you have a choice for your physical therapy provider? NovaCare Rehabilitation offers same-day appointments, and oftentimes you don't need a prescription from your doctor to see us. We will make sure that you are treated as an individual and will work directly one-on-one with you to help achieve your goals. You have tried the rest, now try the best. NovaCare, Delaware Avenue in Uniontown. Phone 724-437-0556 to schedule your appointment today.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
That's a wrap for hour number one. Coming up, we're going to talk about the need for blood donations, and then Lanny Fratteri is going to join us to talk about the Pirates on your local station, WMBS, Uniontown.
Hellfire air missiles deployed. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The U.S. military says it's disabled a Curacao-flagged oil tanker trying to breach the reimposed blockade on Iranian ports as the U.S. carries out a second round of strikes today against Iran. President Trump saying we will have Iran defeated soon.
President updating the war effort at a conference in Pennsylvania of defense and technology executives.
That's true with all of the munitions people, actually. Faster, we need a little more speed.
President Trump is urging Congress to sign off on a record $1.5 trillion Pentagon budget.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The plan to suspend most vehicle stops by immigration agents is off the table.
This morning, President Trump overturned that pause, calling the traffic stops one of the agency's most effective crime-fighting tools, saying without them, ICE would just play right into the criminals' hands. DHS says agents use these traffic stops because you don't need a judicial warrant. It's different than going in someone's house.
Fox's Alexis McAdams. Tough questions today from a Senate panel for the man who wants to lead the Justice Department.
Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche says he's working to restore public trust in the Justice Department, also highlighting plummeting crime rates nationwide under the Trump administration's DOJ.
We are keeping America safe, and we are just getting started. I love this country. I love the Department of Justice.
Blanche rejecting accusations that he'd used the department for political purposes as Democrats questioned him over his prior role as the president's personal defense attorney. Republicans largely focused on Blanche's experience as a federal prosecutor.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. During the hearing, Blanche insisted the nearly $1.8 billion fund that had been set up to defend the supporters of President Trump was not going forward, but several lawmakers, including Texas Republican John Cornyn, raised concerns that the fund would be resurrected. America's listening to Fox News.
Point. Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46. And I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Florida pauses an effort under its state law to label a Muslim advocacy group as a terrorist organization.
The new Florida law would allow the state to label the Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, a terror group. Earlier in July, Governor Ron DeSantis said what it would mean if a local government supporting CAIR got state money.
They will lose that state funding. If you have a school that's in league with CAIR, they will become ineligible for those scholarship funds.
Heba Rahim, who leads CAIR in Florida, argued her group and other organizations have the right to challenge the government.
This is an effort to silence dissent.
Florida officials say the pause is for the state to decide how to implement the new law, so their effort has not ended. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
The federal government has reworked and reinstalled panels about slavery at George Washington's Philadelphia home. The original panels told the story of how 9 slaves lived in the home, along with George and Martha Washington in the 1790s. The replacement panels don't include some of the detail in the earlier ones, such as a map of slave trade routes. The city of Philadelphia had sued, arguing the federal government must consult with the city before making changes to the president's house site. The producer price index, prices at the wholesale level, declined last month.
Excluding food and energy, core PPI for last month rose 0.2%. Wholesale inflation moderated for the year ending in June, up 5.5% and up 4.7%, excluding food and energy. The numbers reflect moderating energy prices in June, though the Iran conflict has pushed crude oil prices higher this month. Also, there's a sign manufacturing is improving in the Northeast. The Empire State Manufacturing Survey from the Federal Reserve rose to 15.6 this month, nearly double the expected reading.
Fox's Ginny Casola. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
The
local district and statewide news is being brought to you by Fayette Area Coordinated Transportation, striving harder to get you farther. For more information, call 724-628-RIDE. And now to the news.
And good evening, 6:05, 91 degrees. Doug Saltzman's favorite weather, sunny and hot on this summer day, and much more on the Weather Watch and the sports in just a bit. Good evening, I am Nick Barczyk. In Fayette County, residents in South Connellsville will be without power Saturday night. According to West Penn officials, the scheduled outage will take place from 10 p.m. Saturday through 6 in the morning Sunday. This will affect most of South Connellsville and into the city to Green Street. West Penn officials will be doing repairs to their system in South Connellsville from the recent storm that damaged portions of the local grid. The Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission has put a planned pilot initiative that would have sent text message reminders to drivers with unpaid bills on hold. While the initiative was designed to collect payments faster and keep accounts out of collections, cybersecurity experts and consumers voiced concerns recently that it would be too difficult to distinguish from toll scams. In response to this feedback, the Commission decided to pause that program until they can establish a clear way to verify their messages as legitimate. Pennsylvania U.S. Senator Dave McCormick brought together the nation's top defense technology and finance leaders. Also, President Trump was at the event today at the U.S. Army War College in Carlisle, PA, for the first ever Pennsylvania Defense and Innovation Summit. McCormick announced $10 billion of investment supporting 4,000 plus jobs around the Keystone State. Over 30 announcements were made advancing American shipbuilding, munitions, space industry, innovation, and emerging technologies such as AI and robotics. Officials from the Greene County Republican Party have requested a court order to revoke the election certification of 33 write-in committee candidates who received fewer than 10 votes in the May election. While the party argues that state law mandates a minimum of 10 votes to match the signature threshold for nomination petitions, County Solicitor Eugene Grimm defended the election board certification this week, noting that state laws on the matter remain unsettled and vary by county. Common Pleas Judge Christopher Sims did not rule immediately, stating he would review the conflicting case law before issuing a general ruling for all 33 candidates out of Greene County. State lawmakers in Harrisburg face a July 24th deadline to act after the Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled that mandatory life sentences without parole for second-degree murder is not constitutional. The ruling stemmed from the Pittsburgh case of accomplice Derek Lee, gave the legislature 120 days to set a new mandatory minimum sentence. With no consensus reached yet, roughly 1,100 incarcerated people could soon be serving illegal sentences. If lawmakers fail to pass a new law, courts are expected to be flooded with individual petitions for resentencing, potentially leading to inconsistent rulings across counties. State health officials say the federal government has allocated nearly $2 million to address health care issues in West Virginia. In a release from Governor Morrissey's office today, the state's Health Transformation Office will put the money towards staffing. They say the funds will help the Mountain State set up pools of professionals who would cover facilities in the short term with the goal of improving health care throughout the state in the long run. BMW is adding a new warning to a recent recall.
This week, the German automaker announced it was recalling nearly 30,000 luxury plug-in cars due to a fire risk linked to the engine starter. Well, now the company is advising owners of affected models to park outside until their vehicles can be inspected or repaired. The affected models are listed on BMW's website. I'm Daria Albinger.
Now, Monica Nelson with Consumer and Business News for this Wednesday.
Sector earnings are now out for 5 of America's biggest banks. Matt Mattinson reports.
J.P. Morgan, the country's largest bank, notched the highest quarterly profit in U.S. banking history with a 41% jump to $21.2 billion. Bank of America reported a net income of $9.1 billion, up 27% from last year. Citigroup reported its highest quarterly revenue in a decade with a 45% jump and a net income of $5.8 billion. Wells Fargo is up 17% from a year earlier at a net income of $6.4 billion. Finally, Goldman Sachs profits rose 78% with net earnings of $6.6 billion.
More next on WMPS.
Take the fact.
Need to get to work? Run errands? See a doctor? Fact connects Fayette County. Ride our convenient routes through Uniontown, Connellsville, Brownsville, even to Pittsburgh. Seniors 65 and older ride free on fixed routes. People with disabilities get big savings. And Medicaid recipients can ride to medical appointments at no cost through our shared ride and paratransit services. Find out if you qualify today. Call 724-628-RIDE or visit factbus.com. Fact, your ride, your independence.
In sports, the All-Star break still ongoing. Pirates are back in action Friday at Cleveland, and we'll have those games for you this weekend on WMBS. Bucks are 50-47, just a few games out of a wild card spot in the National League. Steelers have training camp, their first open practice 2 weeks from today at St. Vincent, and the Penguins announced their schedule. The NHL announcing the schedule. The Penguins open up September 30th on the road, and they will have their first home game October the 3rd. Anthony Mantha, who played for the Penguins last season, was signed this afternoon in free agency as he will be leaving Pittsburgh, signing a 2-year, $9.5 million contract with New Jersey. And now the weather watch for all of southwest Pennsylvania. Right now it is sunny and another hot day, 91 right now. We went up to 93 this afternoon with the overnight low tonight down to 73, back up to 93 tomorrow with sun, low at 67, 91 with sun Friday. Thunderstorms likely overnight Friday and a Saturday, low at 73, chance of showers and storms in the afternoon, then likely in the evening Saturday up to 80, 82 with a chance of rain Sunday. Monday at 87, 86 with thunderstorms likely Tuesday and next Wednesday up to 85. We have another sunny and hot one right now at 91 at 6:11 on a Wednesday. And good evening from the Davis & Davis studios at WMBS. I'm Nick Barczyk. More of the Afternoon Drive Show with Doug Saltzman next on WMBS.
The local, district, and statewide news has been a service of FACT, Fayette Area Coordinated Transportation, striving harder to get you farther. Phone 724-628-RIDE for routes, rates, and schedules. 724-628-RIDE for FACT.
For 35 years, Fay Penn Economic Development Council has been committed to its mission of growing Fayette County's economy and helping to bring jobs to the area. Whether you're a startup, existing, or new business in Fayette County, Fay Penn's lending team can work with you to decide if the Fay Penn Loan Fund suits your business's needs. Fay Penn's Loan Fund offers loans starting at $10,000, pending qualifications. Visit faypenn.org to learn more about financing opportunities for your business and to complete a pre-application form.
When you need notary services, trust the best. Sandy Howell Notary Services, back-to-back gold medal winner for Best Notary in Fayette County. They're here for you with extended hours to fit your schedule. Sandy Howell's also the 2025 gold medal winner for Best Title Company. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 8:30, and Saturdays, 9 to 5. Call 724-564-8955 today for Sandy Howell Notary Services, where excellence is signed and sealed.
Yeah, they're the people I trust. It's the place I go. Home, warehouse, where a house becomes a home.
Warm weather means more outdoor living. Are you planning on adding a new deck this summer? Well, Home Warehouse, a Best in Fayette winner for home improvements and windows, is the place to go for all your home exterior needs. Home Warehouse has a great selection of easy-to-maintain composite decking and vinyl railing to add value to your home and increase outdoor living space. That, as well as siding, shutters, windows, doors, roofing shingles, metal and rubber roofing, soffit, fascia, and flooring, too. So for selection, great prices, and hometown service, shop local. See Sandy and Donnie at Home Warehouse on Connellsville Street in Uniontown. Shop Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, Saturday, 8 to noon.
They're the people I trust. It's the place I go. Home, warehouse, where a house becomes a home.
Are you considering a project design and don't know where to start? K2 Engineering offers a wide range of professional civil, architectural, and municipal services to meet your individual project needs. Our versatility, combined with our personalized approach, is what sets us apart as a full-service engineering and consultation firm. To learn more about our services, please visit us on the web at www.k2engineering.net. K2 Engineering, where customer service is our priority.
If you're a small business owner in Fayette County, think about everything you need to help your business succeed. You need a plan, happy customers, steady cash flow, and an insurance agent that gets you. State Farm agent Nathan Ferguson runs a small business in Uniontown, too. He understands the unique needs of local business owners. He'll make it easy to choose the right protection at the right price, because the one thing you don't need is insurance stress. Call State Farm agent Nathan Ferguson for your small business needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Warm weather means you'll be spending more time outside. So enjoy your deck or patio with retractable or fixed awnings from Lifetime Awnings. Made in the USA with manufacturer and customers guarantees, Lifetime Awnings products last. Lifetime Awnings is veteran-owned and operated with a 10% discount to all military veterans and their families. Call Lifetime Awnings 724-554-6067 or email John, the owner, at lifetimeawningsusa@gmail.com.
It's the third half of the afternoon drive show in your local station, WMBS Uniontown. I'm Doug Saltzman. That's Nick Barczyk over there at the controls. Thanks for joining us today. We're with you till 7 o'clock tonight. No Pirate baseball till Friday night. Pirates have returned Friday night. But we've been reporting here at WMBS, and it's been on national too, about a urgent shortage. Is that the way to call it? Emergency shortage of blood. That often happens during the summer months when there's a more need for blood. People are outside getting banged up, and people are less likely to give blood. I haven't given blood in several years, and I'm disappointed in that, and I need to start giving again. But I hit at one point the 100-time donor plateau. So I've given either blood or plasma or whatever. I'm the universal donor, so they love my blood, Nick. Yes, they do.
That's lovely.
They're very
Good
happy
for you,
to get
man.
my blood.
Of course.
But I need to start up again and start doing that again. But I've given through locally through what was then called the Central Blood Bank, now called Vitalant, and also during college and other times, places I've lived, I gave to the Red Cross. But I did it officially. You know, it's not like I sent in my own blood.
You went through the official channels.
Right. There was the Kramer episode while he was storing his own blood in the freezer.
Right.
Yeah, I've never done that.
Proving everything goes back to Seinfeld.
Exactly. There's always a
Yes.
connection to Seinfeld.
Yeah, you're not doing that. Don't store your blood in the freezer.
Yeah, you don't do that,
Please
folks.
don't.
Joining us right now to talk about this issue and how folks can help on the WMBS Newsmakers line, the communications manager with Vitalant, and this is her first official ever interview. She's new to the position, so congratulations to Mandy Semple. And Nick, even though I promised not to, I really think we ought to push her to the limits here. This is like a 60 minutes interview to see how she can, as she's
Well, you don't
laughing
have
nervously.
you don't have
in
your
the
makeup
background.
on yet. Yeah.
That's right. No, we're not going to do that. That's not what we do here. That's not what we're about. Nick and I frequently say
You're
we
no
talk-
Mike Wallace. Yeah.
Right. We talk serious topics, but we don't take ourselves too seriously, as you can tell. So first off,
you guys sound pretty fun.
Oh, well,
more,
thank you.
More important than the blood shortage, of course, is the fact that you have a new position. So congratulations. Not quite.
Thank you.
The blood shortage is a serious thing. And this always seems to happen during the summer months, doesn't it, Mandy?
Yes, summer poses quite a few challenges for blood donation. So basically, in the summer, we kind of refer to it as trauma season. So it's the time when there's more travel on the roads, there's more outdoor activities. These things can lead to more accidents, which is going to require, having more blood on the shelves. Additionally, the summertime is when, people kind of get off their routines. They go on vacations. They're maybe not scheduling their regular donation appointments. Also, colleges and high schools are out for the summer, so we don't get to do those college and high school drives that provide about 10% of our blood supply. So in the summer, while the need goes up, oftentimes our donor base dips.
You're talking about things that happen in summer, of course, and just recently, a friend of mine had quite a few tree branches come down during a storm, went into the neighbor's yard, and I'm cutting branches down, and I have this chainsaw on a stick. It's literally what it is. And based on my limited understanding of physics and gravity, I'm cutting this branch down. I'm like, okay, this should fall straight down after I cut it. It comes down, catches on something, swings, and hits me in the throat. Honest to God, I was thinking I'm going to need blood from this collision. But thankfully, it was just a big scratch. But that's a classic summer thing. I'm not cutting tree branches down in the winter. I get hit in the throat with a tree branch. Thankfully, it wasn't all that bad. People just kept looking at me funny with this big thing in my neck, thinking I was up to no good.
But yeah, the summer months, and people, I guess, since they're on vacation and they're less likely to make such appointments, but that's when blood drives are desperately needed, aren't they?
Yes, and we have, so at Vitalant, we have we have eight blood donation centers across the region, and we host about 100 blood drives a month. So there's lots of options for, making your appointments and finding a location that's convenient for you to donate.
I've given blood so many times, and it's a simple process. Yeah, you get hit with a needle, but, big deal. Anybody can handle that. And it is a very simple process. You lay in a gurney, they take some blood from you. It's not like you're running short. They take a pint from you, and the average body has about 12 pints. Nick, how many? You probably have 12 over there, too, don't you think?
I would think so. I feel like I have 12, maybe 11 and a half.
You could give up some, for heaven's
I could.
sakes.
I'm a big boy.
Yeah. When my dad was in the military, I think they used to give blood like every 2 weeks.
Wow.
Because they were so desperate for it. Yeah. You're supposed to give, what is the official number? Every 58 days, I think.
Every 56.
56 days. Let's get this right.
Yeah, I'll do it.
She's never done an interview before, and she's correcting me for 2 days off.
She's a veteran.
Apparently now, yeah.
I will do it. Do they still give out cookies and juice?
I think they give juice.
Good. Oh, good. Wonderful.
Something like that, and maybe some sort of cookie.
I want a Lorna Doone. Okay.
Yeah, maybe a Lorna Doone. Can you request your own type of cookie, I suppose? But it's such a simple process. It doesn't take very long. Most companies have those drives. I remember like sitting, laying on a gurney, and I could see the other side of the room. People were having lunch. I'm like, maybe put a screen up next time here. I don't know. But it is a simple process. And if company owners are listening to this, I know frequently, a company I worked at, you'd give blood during lunchtime, and then you get the afternoon off. It was sort of an incentive for people to give blood until somebody complained to HR that they weren't eligible to give blood and they weren't getting half a day off. So. They gave that person half a day off. Go ahead, Mandy, jump in.
In talking about, how easy it is to donate, the other really important thing to know is that the majority of people are eligible to donate blood, but only about 3% do. So there's a lot of potential out there for first-time donors and people who've never donated before to, make an appointment and donate blood for the first time. There's very few things you can do in an hour of your time that really has the kind of impact that giving blood does, because you're really, you could be potentially saving lives, and you're certainly impacting them by just 1 hour of a donation.
It's sort of amazing when you think through all the medical research that has been done literally for centuries, they still have not found a way to create blood. It's just not possible. It can't everything be done. Blood cannot be created artificially when you think about everything else that can be done to save someone's life. But no, blood has to be the actual blood. And as I mentioned, I'm a universal donor, which is just like it sounds. Anybody can use my blood. But there's also rare types of blood as well, right, that are so critically needed.
Right, and that's why type O, and particularly your type, which is O negative, is so important, because when you're in an emergency type situation, that is what the emergency doctors are reaching for first. They're reaching for O negative blood because they can provide that to any patient regardless of blood type. And when there's no time to figure out what a patient's blood type is, O negative is what they're reaching for. O positive is also a very helpful blood type because it can help about 85% of the population, so anybody with a positive blood type. And nearly half of the population has type O blood to give. So about 50% of the population has the type of blood that we need. So we're definitely encouraging all donors, but particularly type O donors, to come out and make sure we have the blood on the shelves when it's needed.
We were talking with Mandy from Vitalant. I almost said blood bank. No, it's Vitalant nowadays, has been for many, many years. As we talk with her about the need for blood donations at this time of year and how critical it is and how simple it is. And yes, they do ask some questions when you go in, naturally, and that's all kept very confidential. In fact, every time I've ever given blood over the years, Mandy Semple, they have a radio playing in the place, so nobody can overhear what you're saying. And you're not sitting, in an open room. You're behind either closed doors or behind, but people aren't hearing. Naturally, they have to ask simple yes and no questions and check out your vitals, temperature, pulse, blood pressure, hemoglobin levels, that sort of thing. But that's pretty standard, and that can all be done in a room at a company, at Vitalant itself, or in one of your blood donation RVs, correct?
I was just in a bloodmobile today. There was a blood drive, and I attended to, I'm still learning about the blood drives and things. And so I was on my first bloodmobile today, and it was very cool experience. It was air conditioned and clean and crisp, and everybody was in good spirits. It was actually a really fun experience being on the bloodmobile today.
And again, there's a great example of how you can go out into the community and make it so much easier. And organizations are always looking, okay, what can we do next to help the community? This is a simple one. And whether it's something like the Kiwanis Club or the Rotary or any organization or church organizations, our church frequently has blood donor drives, etc. And the priest will say, hey, you can skip out and miss the homily if you go give blood. Right there, huh? No, actually, they don't say that. I'm making a joke. But I've joked with him. Maybe you could skip the homily and have us give blood during Mass. I guess that's getting blood from a stone, as we always say.
You make it up by drinking the wine later.
Exactly.
We're fun here.
We go into more details about what that symbolizes.
It's not Sunday morning.
Yeah, we won't go into that right now. We don't want. We already have a nervous enough guest at this point.
Think.
Yeah, we're not getting it into a religious.
She doesn't seem nervous at all.
No, she's doing very smoothly. In fact, later I think we'll hear the Jeopardy theme song when Nick and I give you a grade as to how this interview goes. So Nick, find that music if you could.
It's copyrighted. Merv Griffin copyrighted it.
I love Jeopardy.
So. Yeah, I like it too. I realize how stupid I am.
Oh my God!
I have trouble answering questions with a question.
I'm too dumb for Wheel of Fortune, let alone Jeopardy.
Exactly. When all the letters are there, I can't figure out Wheel of Fortune. That's right. So if folks want to get more information, tell us about your website. Where can they go? What can they do to help out? And of course, our station's located here in Fayette County.
Yes. So the best thing to do is to go to our website, vitalent.org. You can put in your location, and like I said, one of our 8 donation centers will come up, or one of our 100 blood drives throughout the region every month, and find one that's convenient for you. You make your appointment, and then show up for your appointment, and we'll take you through the easy process, and you'll have your snacks, and then you'll be on your way. That's the best way to get information about how to donate.
Vitalent.org. Vitalant, like vital talent, Nick. It is a vital talent, giving blood.
I would think.
And
we're both overdue giving blood.
I certainly am, because I unfortunately never have.
I once did an interview at a station while giving blood.
Wow.
This was back in my college days, literally. They said, Doug, you're going to have to shut up for a moment. Your blood pressure's through the roof because you're on the air.
That's great.
But I literally gave blood on the air at my college radio
like Katie
station.
Couric. She did something on the air.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about
gross,
that.
I don't even want to bring it up.
But I did it on the air one time. Maybe we'll do it here, for heaven's sake.
Let's do it. Brian would love that.
Exactly. Why not?
I love that idea.
Yeah. Okay, that's it, Nick. Put that together, all right?
Let's do it.
We're going to give blood, for heaven's sakes. Well, let me tell you, I think you did very well in your very first interview, Mandy Semple, communications manager from the there it is. It's in the background there.
I'm a producer.
Theme to Jeopardy. So Nick, now give if you would please a score, a grade.
Oh, a solid A even.
A plus.
She was smooth.
I know. Her head's going to be swollen enough, for heaven's sake. I'm going to
A minus.
I'm going to give her a B minus.
B minus.
She did much better than that. But I want her to, not to get too full of herself.
Oh, well.
I always want to strive. I want to strive for better all the time.
There we go.
Getting in the B range is I have have goals to reach.
That's
so
right. Good, better, best, never let it rest.
Nick and I have done this radio show for over a dozen years, and we're still not getting better.
No, I'm either stagnating or getting worse.
We strive. Yeah, we have delusions of mediocrity.
That's right. No grandeur.
No delusions of grandeur.
Delusions of mediocrity.
Well, thanks so much. We're making fun here, but it is a critical thing. Vitalent.org. For heaven's sakes, take an hour, give some blood. It's not that big a deal, and it really is a simple process. You know what I forgot to ask? Jump in real quick with this. When I have done this as well, when you can donate plasma. Explain that real quick, if you could.
Yes. So plasma is something that you can donate more often. Unlike with whole blood, you can only donate every 56 days. With platelet donation, you can do it up to every 7 days or up to 24 times a year. And platelet donation is really, really important for cancer patients, blood disorders, surgeries, and organ transplants. And the one thing about platelet donation is that you need to go to a donation center to donate platelets. You can't do that at a blood drive.
I said plasma. Platelets. Thank you for correcting.
Plasma. Oh, you said plasma. So, sorry. So plasma is the liquid portion of blood, and you can donate plasma every 28 days, so up to 13 times a year. And plasma helps burn patients and major blood loss in patients in shock or those who have clotting disorders.
There you go, Nick. All kind of options. And, of course, that's
Wow.
all at vitalent.org. And, naturally, you can follow up, too, with a call. And they'll give you more information. It's the best thing that you can do. But right now, there is a blood shortage emergency. So this is the time to do it, folks. If you can help out, do it as quickly as possible. All kidding aside, Mandy, thank you very much for joining us today. You did a great job with your very first interview.
Great job.
No doubt.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
She'll be recording this and putting it with her resume, no doubt.
Of course.
This will put her over
Editing
the top.
out us, editing out the
taking us
questions
out,
and
but-
our commentary, just her.
Just
yeah.
putting your answers in, that'll help you, that's for sure. Mandy, thanks so much. You have a good evening.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mandy. Good job.
Let's go to the Fox News update.
For central and southern Texas.
Flash flood warnings and watches persist in the region all the way through Thursday, and many roadways impassable. First responders and officials warning people, do not try to drive through these waters.
Fox Weather's Robert Ray in Uvalde County, Texas. Defending champion Argentina rallying to beat England 2-1 and advance to the World Cup final. They'll take on Spain on Sunday. America's listening to Fox News.
Everything is growing, and Madewell Services is here to help. They offer full lawn care service, including spring cleanups, mulching, landscaping and planting, weekly grass cutting, power washing, and more. Madewell Services also provides professional cleaning services for your home or office, moving in or out service, party cleanups, weekly cleanings, and junk removal. Licensed and insured for peace of mind. Call Madewell Services today at 724-912-1805. That's 724-912-1805 for a free estimate.
Some things just go together, like bread and butter, blue jeans and Saturdays, best friends and phone calls. And a great match? You and discounts from Erie Insurance. It's like this. Safety features in your car will have you paying less for your auto insurance. And pay off your Erie auto policy all at once, and you'll save up to 7% more. On your homeowner's policy, you earn discounts that start at age 46 and go up each time you celebrate a birthday. There are more discounts, too, for things like home safety features and even teenage drivers. And the savings keep adding up. When you have your auto and home covered with Erie, you get a discount. Buy a life policy with us, and the savings can get even better. At Erie Insurance, above all in service means making life a little easier on you and on your wallet. Your Erie agent is waiting for you. Your local Erie agent is Sprowell's Insurance Group, 724-437-9812, or go to sprowellsinsurance.com.
Discount terms and amounts may vary by state. See your local Erie agent for details.
Bright Stripe, Fayette County's premier asphalt seal coating professionals. Locally owned by Matt and Lexi George. Bright Stripe specializes in residential and commercial asphalt seal coating, also excelling in line striping and layouts, thermoplastic, and infrared asphalt repair. Bright Stripe has succeeded due to their commitment to quality work for 30 years. Bright Stripe, 724-437-6090, or visit bright-stripe.com. BRITE-stripe.com.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
Are you using credit cards to keep up with high grocery, gasoline, and utility prices? Are you being sued? If yes, call Zebley Law Office today. Before paying unaffordable debts or entering debt management, give us a call at 724-439-9200 and we'll meet with you for free. Maybe a bankruptcy is a cheaper, faster choice to eliminate your debts, keep your home and car, and get a fresh start. Call us today for a free in-person consultation. 724-439-9200.
Warm weather means you'll be spending more time outside. So enjoy your deck or patio with retractable or fixed awnings from Lifetime Awnings. Made in the USA with manufacturer and customers guarantees, Lifetime Awnings products last. Lifetime Awnings is veteran-owned and operated with a 10% discount to all military veterans and their families. Call Lifetime Awnings 724-554-6067 or email John, the owner, at lifetimeawningsusa@gmail.com.
It's gorgeous outside, which means it's time to get to Bittersweet Cafe of Farmington. From their incredible daily lunch specials featuring farm-to-table fresh ingredients to their refreshing drinks, frozen treats, smoothies, and iced tea, Bittersweet Cafe has something for everyone. Enjoy this beautiful spot nestled in the Laurel Highland Mountains, just a few miles outside of Ohiopyle on Farmington, Ohiopyle Road. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
That's a small garage band you may have heard of called the Rolling Stones. Mick Jagger, Kiefer, and the boys have said they're going on tour again, which means the grandfather of, I don't know, 27 grandkids, whatever he has. He's got 8 kids. He's going on tour at age 80.
Yeah.
And you know it'll be a great show.
He's got a daughter in high school, another one on Social Security. I mean, God love him. He is just, can you imagine being Mick Jagger's
I'd love
kid?
to be Mick Jagger's kid.
Oh, my God. And Keith Richards is out there proving that Jack Daniels and some drugs are not that necessarily
Apparently it
bad
preserves
for
you.
Preserves you, yeah.
Yeah, not
I
making
mean, I'm not
fun
saying the
of
kids
drug
should do
use
it.
or excessive
No,
alcohol use. But yeah, the Stones are amazing. I think they just freeze them between concerts and then
Right.
thaw them out for the next one.
They each have their own ambulance.
Because last time I saw them was at Heinz Field, and there were 4 ambulances right in like the receiving area. I'm like, I think that's one for each of them afterwards, and they just take
Yeah.
them away, they preserve them, and off they go. The Rolling Stones are an absolutely amazing group. I've
They're
talked
coming out
about
with new music. I mean, Billy Joel has admitted, I'm not doing any more music, but they're coming out with new music.
and the new stuff sounds pretty good.
Very good. That was new.
And of course, I've talked about this before. The very first concert they ever played in Pittsburgh was before they were well known.
Right.
And they played at Dance Land at the old Restview Park.
The ticket probably cost half of what a beer costs now at a
Oh,
concert.
I've seen the ticket. They put it on the screen at the the
Right.
concert.
Oh, yeah.
$1.75.
Oh, my God. $1.75. 1.75, not 175.
Right. My ticket was $3.75.
Wow.
One ticket.
$375.
That's why I meant
Would
to
you
see
sit
the
on
Stones.
the stage? Were you with? Were you
Not
on
even
stage?
close. Yeah, that was one ticket, and
Wow,
I
I
also
managed
bought
to
one
not
for
pay
my
that
date.
much. Oh wow.
Yeah, it was not cheap to see it,
No,
but it's the
if
Stones.
we have to. Yeah, I've seen them twice, and I
Why
would
not?
See 'em
Yeah,
again.
amazing stuff. I remember seeing them back at the old Syria Mosque.
Oh yeah, Zeppelin played there.
Yeah.
What happened to that?
Back in the day.
venue?
It's a parking lot.
Oh, that's
what a
horrible.
shame. Yeah.
At least it's not like a
Joining
bad
us, if he
restaurant.
wants to talk about the Rolling Stones, he's welcome to, or music. But joining us right now on the WMBS Newsmakers line, talking Pirates baseball. Mike Fisher, who's a former boss of mine and a good friend of Lanny Fratteri, said you should have Lanny on to talk about Pirates because we usually talk to him about other stuff. But very pleased to welcome Lanny Fratteri back on the show. Lanny, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
I'm great. I just played golf with Mike Fisher last week, and he's doing well. And what a great friend he is. He's done a lot for me and for my family, and I'm deeply indebted to Mike and Carol Fisher. Wonderful people.
They really are. He was a tough boss. I always said that, but it was an honor working for him. I was on his state Senate staff back in the day before he became Attorney General and then now federal judge on the Third Circuit Court of Appeals. Yeah, an impressive. Talk about your resumes. Mike Fisher's got it, but yeah, I've known Mike and Carol for a long time, even before I was on his staff.
One other note about Mike, I don't know if you know this or not, but his grandson, Cam Reyes, just recently won a amateur golf tournament in western Pennsylvania.
Wow, terrific. Well, that's impressive. I did not know about that. I knew, of course, he had grandchildren. I know Brett and
his daughter.
Brett.
Yeah, his daughter Michelle. Her son just recently won a tournament. Most impressive.
And following in her dad's footsteps, she's an attorney as well. I knew them when Mike would at events would say, "Can you keep your eye on my kids?" They were so young, and that's terrific. Good for them. Yeah, he's an impressive guy, Mike Fisher, and like I said, a tough boss. And I had to know my stuff when I was talking to him. I wish I'd worked for him longer. I was on our inspector staff and went to Mike and left Mike and became a lobbyist for the Pittsburgh Chamber of Commerce. So, I enjoyed my time working for Mike. Well, let's talk Pirate baseball, sort of the unofficial halfway point of the season. But this was a late all-star game, of course, this year. after 97 games. Usually it's a little closer to halfway point. How important that last series up against Milwaukee swept the second best team in baseball. These are professional athletes. They're grown-ups. But does this have an impact like, holy cow, we just beat the number one team in our division, the second best team in baseball? Can that translate into positives for the second half, or do they just take it in stride?
Well, I'm not sure that any of us really know. There's certainly a great deal to be gained from the confidence that one would experience from not only beating Milwaukee, but winning a couple of 1-1 ball games, and then the big 10-run game and the lopsided win in the final game of that series. They've won 7 of their last 10. They've moved to within 2 games of the wild card spot of the Marlins. Keep in mind the Marlins as the wild card, the last wild card spot has 7 more wins than it has losses. So the Pirates are, I think, 3 more wins than losses. So yeah, they're 2 back of the Marlins. But having gone through this stretch, played the Phillies well, took 2 out of 4 from the Phillies. Then 2 out of 3 from the Nationals, and but another tough stretch coming up. They play the Guardians, they play the Yankees, then they play the Diamondbacks, and then they play the Cubs. So another 12-game stretch. But that's what it is in the big leagues. I mean, you're always going to be coming up against some pretty formidable opponents. You need to beat. You need to beat up on the players on the teams that are below you in the standings or below 500. But a lot of good things, a lot of positive stuff happening for the Pirates.
And it's interesting with this year's team, Lanny. It's a reverse of last year. People expected the pitching to be great, the offense to struggle. Last year, that's how it was. This year, the offense seems to be better. And the pitching staff has a generational talent on it, Paul Skeens. And when you watch him, he having a rough year, compared to his other years. But what do you make of him? I mean, as someone who's just followed baseball your whole life and have lived it, what do you make of Skeens in general and his talent and his struggles maybe this year?
Well, it's a real plus that the Pirates have one of the great pitchers in baseball. Much has been made of the 9-game stretch where he didn't win, but for those of us who have followed baseball, we know that. Even the great pitchers, Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale and Bob Gibson, they all have periods of time where they're not pitching as well as they normally do. Otherwise, they'd all be 30-game winners.
Right.
So you go through that, and that's why it's important for Skeens to have a solid offense behind him as well. To provide him with some offense when he's not particularly as sharp as he normally would be. But it's a great story to have one of the greatest pitchers in baseball right now wearing a Pittsburgh Pirate uniform.
Yeah. We couldn't have you on the air, and since we're talking about Pirate pitchers, Jared Jones throwing 6 perfect innings on just 77 pitches against the Braves, and pulled out of that game after 6 innings. Old school baseball people like Nick and I, that drives us nuts. I think there was a collective screaming by Pirate fans when he didn't come out for the 7th inning. And according to Baseball Digest, or what is the baseball?
Elias Sports
Bureau said it was the first time that a pitcher in the modern era threw 6 perfect innings and got the loss.
Yeah.
What do you think about such a strict pitch count on something like that? How can you take a guy out with a perfect game, in my opinion? But what do I know?
Well, the story is that the agents and the players are running the game, and the agents don't want their pitchers. Jones may have given the impression that this was he wanted to go for it and all that stuff, but the fact of the matter is that because the reason we have pitch count now is because organizations are concerned about the long-term future of young arms, but it rests at the doorsteps of agents who are saying, look, I don't want my guy going out there and throwing 110, 120 pitches. And in the case of Jones, who had just come back off the disabled list and just came back to So, and when we get into this collective bargaining agreement that's coming up between the players and the owners, okay, the fact of the matter is that Major League Baseball needs a salary cap. Fans are clamoring for a salary cap. But the only way it's going to happen is if the owners decide to shut the game down for an extended period of time and put pressure on the players who are not getting paychecks, and this is mainly on players that can't afford to have the game shut down, and hoping that they will vote for a collective bargaining agreement that includes a salary cap. But as I said, the game is run by the Players Association, and don't believe for 1 minute that Major League players care about competitive balance, because there are star players that are going to play for the big teams. Paul Skeens is probably destined to be a Los Angeles Dodger, okay, and make a ton of money, no matter what Paul might say over the next couple of years. It is unlikely that he's going to remain in Pittsburgh. But that's the way the game is. And by the way, if you said to Dodger fans and Dodger people and Yankees and all the big market teams, do they care about competitive balance? They really don't either. They want to have small market teams that they can beat up on, and help to move themselves into winning titles so they can win world championships.
This is why we like to have Lanny Viteri on the air. He does not hold back his opinions.
No,
he gives
nor should he.
Gives it exactly. You know, the ultimate insult to that to Jones coming out early is that former Pirates catcher Joey Bart won the game on a home run,
right?
A 422-foot two-run homer. Does that really happen? Somebody gets traded and holds up all his energy to take out his former team. It seems to happen frequently. I thought that was sort of fascinating. I guess there's no way to answer that question. Nick, jump in. I know you had a question.
Well, no, you were mentioning I was going to ask about the potential for a work stoppage last year, and I'm sure you remember the one in '94, Lanny. What was that season like? And baseball struggled in the years after, but Cal Ripken and Sosa and McGuire kind of saved it. But do you think baseball, if the whole season's off next year, what would that do to Major League Baseball and its fans, do you think, long term?
Well, I'm not smart enough to answer that question for you. Again, the question, here's what needs to be put to fans. Do you want, what do you want from baseball? And again, if there are people clamoring for a salary cap, and let's be honest about it, football has better competitive balance because of the salary cap. The National Hockey League, same thing. So it would seem that the only way that baseball can guarantee competitive balance and guarantee that every team has a legitimate chance to win a title every year and help fans of those teams believe in the championship possibilities is to create a salary cap. But it's not going to happen. The players are not going to step forward on their own and say, we're worried about competitive balance, therefore we will agree to a salary cap. And it's just not going to happen. And like I said, I mean, if you believe for 1 minute that the guys that are playing for the Pittsburgh Pirates now, okay, believe that we're going to have a salary cap because we want the Pirates to win. That's just not the mind. You know, when players, when players say, I want to be a Pirate the whole rest of my life, okay, that's their agent telling them to say that. Okay, that's the agent telling him to say that. And I mean, Neil Walker's a great example of that. Here's a kid from Pittsburgh. Okay, here's a kid from Pittsburgh that was a high draft pick and was doing commercials and all that. And yet, when it came time for negotiations, he said, "I will not give my hometown a hometown discount." Which, Neil's a wonderful guy. I know him. I know his dad, Tom. Wonderful guy. But he said, I'm not going to give my team my hometown a hometown discount. Yeah, and yet the reality is that you can live a lot cheaper in Pittsburgh than you can live in New York City. The reality is that if he wants his parents to see him play 81 home games, then play at home in Pittsburgh. So there's an awful lot of what is said by players. And I've been in the game a long time, and I lived it 33 years. And I've seen players say one thing to the media and be telling their teammates privately in the clubhouse something totally different.
We would love to hear what's said in the clubhouse or what's said on the team plane. And frequently you hear commentators say, I don't repeat things I see or hear on the airplane.
Well, that's why we had beat writers. So I guess they still have beat writers.
So they're good enough to keep us on.
Well, wait a minute. You want to know the answer to that is? You know why that is? Because first of all, anytime a media guy tells you that he knows what the mood of the clubhouse, that's baloney. Okay, they're not in the clubhouse long enough to know what the mood of the clubhouse is. Okay, that's baloney. And as far as what happens on the team plane, most announcers are. If you travel with a team, you're told to sit near the front of the airplane. Okay, so and I'll tell you this: when I traveled with the Pirates on the team charter, I sat near the front of the airplane, and I did not go to the back of the airplane because that was player territory. And so I'm not sure that when a media guy says I'm not going to tell you what I saw on the team plane or what I in many cases they don't know anything anyways. They're just implying that they're on the ends and they're not.
I've done polling analysis for corporate and public affairs and political affairs for years, and I follow national polling on the ranking of the popularity of sports. Football, American football, more than 50% of U.S. adults say it's their favorite sport. Number 2 at 20% is basketball. In the last several years, not just due to the cup, but 10 to 14% of Americans say soccer is their favorite. Baseball's down to about 10% of adults say it's their favorite sport. Now that's double hockey. And you wonder, a year-long shutdown of baseball, I don't know if it's going to drop below hockey.
It might.
But if hockey's smart, they'll take advantage of that time, even start the season earlier. But yeah, the idea of baseball being the national pastime is just a thing of the past, is it not?
Well, it is, but the reason it is, okay. Football became a dominant sport in the '60s, okay, for two reasons. Number one, because of the advent, the increase of television. Okay, TV was not the dominant player in the 50s, but it became in the 60s. It was, and the NFL was smart enough to know that if we televise a lot of football games, to whether it's our teams or not in local areas, baseball's always been a localized media sport for the most part, but. And the other thing is that in the 60s we became a violent society. We had riots, we had the killing of President Kennedy, we had the killings of Martin Luther King and Bobby Kennedy. So there has always been a connection between societal changes and how it impacts sports. And so that's when football, and that's why football has become the dominant player dominant sport that it is, and it takes a little bit more today for fans to be true fans of baseball. In football, you're playing one game a week,
exactly,
and you've got all this time during the week to talk about the game, and then you've got a couple of days after the game to talk about. Whereas with baseball, it is a constant; it's every day, and to be really into the game, you need to be with it every single day. And, the days, think about it. When I started in 1976 with the Pirates, the number of people that had season tickets to Pirate games and were going to a large number of games every year. Okay, I'm not sure that still exists. I don't know that. Companies have season tickets, but it's not like one person is going to 25 or 30 games a year. The average fan goes to how many games? Give me a guess. How many The average fan, how many games a year do you think he goes to?
6.
Yeah, I was going to say 5 or 6.
So,
I mean, I go to more, but
and it's not like, I mean, because of the nature of baseball. I mean, Steeler football. I mean, people plan their Sundays around Steeler football,
Of course.
right?
You get mad if you have
right?
to work during the game.
It's an event.
And to a certain extent, people plan. People that are hockey fans playing their, but with baseball, you figure, well, I don't see, if I don't see this game today, I'll see it tomorrow. There's another game tomorrow coming along. So,
And you talked about the 60s.
but that doesn't take away from the great game that it is.
No,
I'm
it's a
just
great
telling you that I'm just telling you about the societal natures, the societal changes that are impacting what happens to sports.
I've read reports. You talk about how it changed in the 60s and the impact, what caused that. And of course, we're biased, being from southwestern Pennsylvania. But this report talked about how literally Arnold Palmer from Latrobe changed golf. And how Joe Namath, of course, right from our region, changed football. And how he legitimized the American football.
No.
You don't think so?
No. What changed golf was television.
Right.
What changed golf was television.
But not Palmer and the way he
I mean,
interacted?
granted, what television had in the '60s, it had this Arnold Palmer Jack Nicklaus relationship competition. And two guys that were, and then what happened what happened in the '60s when television, then there were certain sponsors that realized, okay, that I can now sell cars to people that can afford to buy cars by advertising on golf tournaments. Okay, these are people that are members of country clubs, okay, and drive nice cars and have great jobs, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't believe one man. I mean, I have great respect for Arnold Palmer and what he means to Western Pennsylvania and what he means for the sport. But the fact of the matter is that it was the message that was there via television.
I guess I hate to disagree with Joe with Lanny for Terry, but I would think without people like a Namath or without a Palmer, television would not have had the impact. But I think maybe we're saying the same things differently.
No, I think there would have been somebody else. I don't think. It's wait a minute. The Joe Namath story was great because of the prediction that he made, et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, in terms of the face of football in the '60s, you got to look at Jimmy Brown.
Oh yeah.
You got to look at Y.A. Tittle from the New York Giants. You got to look at Roger Staubach from the Dallas Cowboys. I think you're being somewhat regionalistic here by believing that Joe Namath and Arnold Palmer, being from Western Pennsylvania, had that kind of impact.
I think I'm being very regionalistic. I agree with you on that. I have a small window of understanding at times, and it's always my hometown. But no, I agree. I can see what you're meaning on this one, Lanny. Absolutely. But that the impact of television, how football. I mean, before it was college football was more dominant than the NFL.
Oh, it was baseball and horse racing and boxing that America loved. I'm sure Lanny remembers those days.
A real change. Lanny, I enjoy our conversations as always. They go very quick. We're coming up on a hard break here, and we always appreciate it.
What's the difference between a hard break and a soft break?
Well, a soft break is we can do that commercial whenever we want. A hard break is the news at the top of the hour.
Right.
Oh, okay, I see. You know what I hear a lot now on television?
What's that?
We'll be back after this quick break, and then it's usually not a quick break.
No,
it never is.
About 8 minutes.
Because that's why they want you to stick around. They want you to stick around, so they fib to you. Yeah, Nick and I aren't big fans of television news. We talk about that a lot. More fluff than stuff, as we say. Hey, Lanny, thanks so much. We really do appreciate it.
All right, guys, thank you.
Thanks, Lanny. Have a good one.
Take care. We're going to take a quick break and wrap it up. No time for that, Nick?
Yeah, we'll throw a 30 in.
Go ahead.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
And that's a wrap. A feisty discussion with Landy Terry. I like that. The guy, yeah, he does hate the Players Association, no doubt.
An oil tanker disabled by U.S. forces. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. It happened in the Arabian Gulf. The U.S. military says it's the first ship to be stopped since the U.S. put the blockade back in place, as the U.S. Navy air campaign against Iran has expanded.
U.S. Navy jets now launching strikes around the clock, including daylight hours, in an effort to bring Iran back to the negotiating table. This afternoon, U.S. forces hit Greater Toom Island, outside the Strait of Hormuz, for the first time. The increased volume of airstrikes an attempt to clear a path through the Strait of Hormuz to increase shipping volume and potentially paving the way for U.S. warships to sail through.